She told me, "Stop questioning me." It was a work trip. Her company told the entire world, no teams traveled this week. 2 days later, a coworker messaged me, "You need to know what really happened." I'm 32, and up until a couple months ago, I honestly thought I was in the most stable relationship of my life. Maya and I had been together a little over 2.5 years. We met at a friend's birthday party, one of those nights where everything feels random, but somehow it all clicks. She laughed at my dumb jokes. I brought her a drink. She gave me her number. Felt like a movie at the time. She works in pharmaceutical sales. Strong personality, smart, charming, a little overly friendly sometimes, but I liked that about her. I work remotely, flexible hours, nothing glamorous, but enough to keep life comfortable. Our schedules fit together easily. So when she told me she had a 3-day work conference in another city, it wasn't anything new. She'd traveled before, sometimes twice a month. Always came back complaining about dried chicken, endless keynote presentations, the world's most boring breakout sessions. That Thursday morning, I drove her to the airport. She was cheerful, almost too cheerful, talking my ear off about what sessions she planned to attend, clients she hoped to see, and how exhausted she'd be when she got home. She kissed me goodbye and said she'd call when she landed, and she did. Around noon, just got in. Hotel's nice. Long weekend ahead, totally normal. She texted a bit throughout the day, nothing unusual. Sessions are dragging, going to dinner with the team, wish you were here, but also glad you're not. Stuff she always said. Saturday she texted, heading to the airport. Flight's on time. I picked her up that evening. She was tired, quiet, almost distant, but I chalked it up to conference burnout. We ordered takeout, watched a movie, fell asleep on the couch. Everything felt normal until Monday night. I was scrolling through social media while she showered when a post from her company showed up, a bright little graphic with a caption underneath. "Quiet week at headquarters as we prep for next month's big conference. No teams traveled this week." I read it again and again and again. No teams traveled, but she had supposedly been at a conference from Thursday to Saturday at first. Thought maybe I misunderstood or they meant a different department. Maybe it was posted by someone who didn't double-check info. I didn't want to jump to conclusions. I screenshotted it anyway, just instinct, I guess. She came out of the shower while I was staring at the screenshot. "What's up?" she asked casually. "Nothing, just work stuff." Number one, I guess, but I wasn't ready to accuse her of anything. Not without knowing more, I went to bed with my head full of questions I didn't have answers to. Tuesday morning, I tried to act normal, but the company's posts kept replaying in my mind like a glitch I couldn't unseen while she made coffee. I asked casually, "So, how was the conference last week? You didn't talk much about it?" She didn't look at me. "Same as always, boring. Lots of talking, not much learning." "Who went with you?" I asked. She hesitated, just for half a second, but long enough for my stomach to tighten. "Oh, the usual team. Sales, marketing, a mix." She handed me my coffee and rushed off to get ready. Acting like she was annoyed, I even asked. That tiny hesitation stuck to me all day. That night, she curled up next to me on the couch and watched TV like everything was normal. Her phone buzzed once, and she stiffened, just slightly, before flipping it face down on the cushion. "You good?" I asked. "Yeah, just a coworker being dramatic." I wanted to believe her. I really did, but something felt off, and once that suspicion creeps in, it spreads like mold. The call that changed everything Thursday afternoon. While I was working from home, I got a message request from someone I didn't know. No profile picture. No mutual friends. "I work with your girlfriend. We need to talk. Can I call you?" My heart dropped. I typed back, "Who is this?" Response came instantly. "I can't explain over messages. Please, let me call you." Against every instinct screaming, "Don't do this." I gave her my number. My phone rang within seconds. A shaky woman's voice came through the speaker. "Thank you for answering. I've been debating for days, but you deserve to know," I asked slowly. "Know what?" She took a deep breath. "The trip. Last week. Maya didn't go to a conference. My entire body went cold. What do you mean she didn't go? There was no conference. No work trip. Nobody from the company traveled. That post you saw? It was accurate. I felt the room tilt. Then where was she? I asked. With someone. Another guy from the office. They've been seeing each other for about 2 months. I forced air into my lungs. You're sure? I'm sure, she said firmly. I've seen them flirting at work. Heard them planning the trip. She said she had her cover story ready. She literally joked that you would never question her. Something inside me cracked when she said those words. Why are you telling me this? I whispered, because it's wrong. And you didn't deserve to be blindsided. I've met you before at events. You seem like a good guy. I couldn't stay quiet. I thanked her, or tried to, but honestly, I don't remember much after that. The call ended, and I sat there with my phone in my hand, numb. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just sat there feeling my entire relationship tilt sideways. Maya came home that evening, kissed me like nothing was wrong, told me her day was fine, and went on cooking dinner while humming under her breath. Meanwhile, I was sitting there with the truth buzzing in my skull like a live wire. I didn't confront her that night. Not yet, but everything had changed. I tried to act normal the next few days, like some part of me still believed this would all be a terrible misunderstanding I could laugh about later. But inside, I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, which as it turned out it did. The coworker kept checking in with little updates, like someone nudging a bruise to see if it still hurt. She messaged me the morning after the call. If you want proof, look in her closet. Don't break anything. I don't know why I obeyed that text, but I did. Maybe I wanted to hold something real in my hands, some piece of evidence that would make all this stop spinning. She wasn't home that morning. I told myself I was crossing a line and tried to stop, but curiosity carried me past the bedroom door like a small, dangerous animal. Behind a stack of shoeboxes tucked behind sweaters I'd never seen her wear, there it was, a gift bag. Inside, an expensive-looking watch in the box and a little card that said, "To my favorite travel companion, until next time." No signature, no explanation, no shame. I sat on the floor with the card in my hands for a long time, feeling stupid for wanting proof and stupid for what I planned to do with it once I had it. I took a picture of the watch, put everything exactly back where I found it, and left. I didn't have the courage to confront her that day. Instead, I went to a coffee shop and pretended the world was normal while my brain filed away every betrayal like receipts I couldn't return. That night, she invited me to dinner, upbeat and cheerful, like nothing at all was wrong. I watched her across the table and thought about turning the phone over and showing her the screenshot and the card, and the way the coworker's voice had trembled when she told me the truth. I wanted to see her face when she had nowhere left to hide, but I didn't do it right there. Part of me wanted to see how far the lie would go. I know that was petty. I know it sounds twisted, but I wanted to witness the moment of collapse, to see if any honesty remained in her. When we got home, she fell asleep almost immediately. I lay awake, watching her breathe and feeling this strange, heavy resentment mixed with old affection, like two weather systems colliding in my chest. I told myself I'd wait one more day. Maybe it would all fall apart then. Maybe she would confess. Maybe I'd wake up and it would all be silly. Then the coworker texted, "He's at her place." I saw him go in. It was the last straw. I drove back to the complex, parked a few buildings over, and walked over like someone who'd rehearsed this moment in his head 100 times. I didn't want to be dramatic. I just wanted to know. I let myself in with my key and could hear talking from the bedroom laughter. My heart stuttered like a bad engine. I eased the door open a crack and saw them fully clothed. Clothes on the bed, his arm around her. The sight stopped my stomach. My voice was softer than I expected when I pushed the door the rest of the way open and said, "Don't stop for my sake." Their faces registered shock, then panic, then a sliver of that awful brazen audacity that comes with being caught. He tried to slip past me. I didn't move. I wanted the universe to see what had happened. He left without flinching. She stayed and cried. When I asked how long it had been, she said, 2 months, maybe 3. She said the trip was with him, She said she'd planned the story, the conference, because it was easy and believable. I told her to pack that night, take what she needed, and leave. She did in a blur, collecting a few bags, apologizing, words that felt like paper thrown into a windstorm. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt hollow. It's strange the moment you've been stewing over for weeks finally arrives, and instead of a satisfying explosion, you mostly get an exhausted silence. After she left, changed the locks. I blocked her number. I deleted the photos of us on my phone I thought I might miss, and then I realized I didn't miss them. People messaged friends checking in, the coworker offering more context and some small kindnesses. A few tried to gaslight me indirectly. She's young. Maybe she made a mistake, like the pain can be softened by minimizing it. Into an adolescence, it wasn't. I didn't respond to people who tried to explain away my gut. The first week was chaos. It's mostly internal. I barely slept. Everything set off the memory. A laugh she'd shared with that guy. The lie on the company page that had begun this. The empty spot in the closet where the watch had been. I'd been betrayed not only by her, but by my own complacency. I had let myself believe the best version of a person I didn't know anymore then. Slowly, the anger faded into something cooler. Not forgiveness exactly, more like a quiet recentering. I started kickboxing. It was stupid and perfect. Hitting pads and grappling with jabs gave my limbs something honest to do. The coach taught me how to channel frustration into motion. I made friends who didn't ask about my relationship every time they saw me. They just invited me out, called me when they said they would, and asked about my dog for no reason. Little things that felt enormous after months of being lied to. Not everything was poetic, though. Maya tried to contact me the first week. Calls, long sobbing texts about how she'd screwed up, declarations that she wanted to try to fix things. I read a few and then deleted the rest. Enough was enough. I blocked her. I didn't want to be a character in her rewrite of the story. A few weeks later, the coworker told me more. Maya and the guy had tried to keep meeting after they were exposed, but without the thrill of hiding it, it fell apart. His girlfriend dumped him once she found out, and apparently karma had interest in a slow payoff. Maya's performance at work tanked, and they let her go. I didn't gloat. It felt more like relief, like the world had a small sense of balance restored. I sold the watch I'd found. It felt petty at the time, but I used the money to book a solo trip to the coast. I'd been floating in that small apartment for weeks, trying to breathe clean air that wasn't tainted by this whole mess. I wanted a reset, one with waves and no interruptions. I also started seeing someone new. Not a rebound, at least not exactly. Just someone who looked me in the eye and said what she meant. We met through class, casual coffees, late-night texts about dumb things, and then slow weekends that weren't planned as distractions, but as little proofs that people could be honest and kind. It felt raw and healthy, and something I'd almost forgotten how to trust. The greatest lesson through it all. That trust is a choice you make every day. And if someone repeatedly chooses otherwise, you don't owe them your patience forever. When I got off the plane for that solo trip, the one paid for by the watch she hid in my closet, something in me shifted. I stepped onto the coast, felt the warm wind hit my face. It was like every piece of noise I'd been carrying finally cracked apart, for the first time in a long time. I wasn't angry. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't replaying conversations or rewriting arguments or trying to understand how someone could look me in the eyes while planning a lie behind my back. I was just me. I'd spent so long building a life around someone else that I forgot how to build one for myself. And that trip reminded me that love shouldn't feel like a mystery you have to solve. When I came back home, I made the space mine, repainted the bedroom, changed the comforter, moved the couch to the other side of the living room. Little changes. But it felt like reclaiming square footage in my own life. My ex tried reaching out once more, showed up at my building, unannounced. The doorman called me before letting her up. I told him to tell her I wasn't home, even though I was standing 10 feet from the phone. She left a note. I didn't read it. I didn't want final words or closure or explanations. Whatever she had to say should have been said months ago, when honesty still mattered. The coworker who warned me, she and I became actual friends. Funny how strangers can treat you with more loyalty than someone you built years with. She told me that after everything fell apart, Maya and the guy tried being a real couple, but it fizzled fast. Apparently, cheating is thrilling right up until it ices and, single quotes, his girlfriend dumped him. Maya lost her job. Their little bubble of excitement popped the moment it faced daylight. Meanwhile, my life got clearer. Kickboxing became therapy. Friends came back into my orbit. Work felt lighter without all the emotional weight. And then there was someone new, not a replacement, not a distraction. Just a steady presence who made honesty feel easy again. Do I trust people after what happened? Yeah, because her betrayal says everything about her, nothing about the rest of the world. I used to think starting over at 32 meant I'd failed somewhere. Now I realize it means I protected my future. I didn't lose anything. I dodged something, and for the first time in a long while, my life feels like it's moving forward on purpose. And the trip, I booked another one this time because I wanted to go, not because I was running from something. Turns out closure isn't a conversation. It's a decision, and I've made mine.